Hey there, everybody out there in YouTube land. So today we've got Man of Steel Superman Neca quarter scale figure from Real Toys. They kept it awesome by keeping the box simple. I love it. So you've got pretty much the blue here is his suit. Here's the logo, Man of Steel at the bottom, and on the back it's just his cape. It's perfect. At the top, let's see if we can get this in frame here, just barely. Let's see Man of Steel. And then the logo right there on top. It's perfect. So, why don't we take it out of the box and see what's going on? Well, here we go. We got Superman out of the box, and I gotta say, he's still very impressive. So here is the backdrop that is behind him in the box there. There's Metropolis. You know, he's gotta defend it against all the big bad villains. But of course, you know, it's Superman, so he usually, you know, does a lot of damage, you know, and as he's protecting the city, usually does a lot of damage to it as well. So you can see he's got his fist going on there just in case he needs to dish out some justice. So he has some exchangeable hands here. They're open hands, so we'll take a look at that in a little bit. But for right now, we're going to take a look with our handy dandy tape measure and see how tall he is. I'm curious to see how big Superman is. So what we're going to do, measure from his foot down here up to his head. That's about 18 inches. So 18 times 4 is, looks like that's about 72. So it looks like Superman is about 60 inches because he's a quarter scale. So let's take a closer look at some details going on here. So there's the hair and the eyes. Those are some pretty fierce eyes. A strong nose. Very good likeness of Henry Cavill. Of course, if I mess up names, that's, you know, that's to be expected. So he's got a nice flowing cape here like that with his logo right there on his chest. But let me come back out here for a second for his cape. Nice size cape, and it's a nice soft cloth. I like that. Muscles on his arms here. Joints at the shoulders. Up here, tricep down here at the elbow. His fist down here as well as on this arm as well. Down here, and then right here in his chest is a joint area, and at his waist. Then of course his two legs. You got the thigh, lower thigh here, at the knee down below there. Now it is a new figure, just opened it up, so there's bound to be some issues with movement, because you know, new figures, there we go, so that moves like that. Lots of movement, lots of different ways to pose the Man of Steel. Gotta be careful with him though, he's kind of heavy. There's his boots, and down below you can see his feet. He's got the articulation here. I believe there's articulation with the top of the boot. Yeah, the boot does move back and forth. And then of course the ankle and the feet and the toes. Lots of movement going on there. So yeah, you can pose them all different sorts of ways. So there you go. The Man of Steel, Neca quarter scale. He's got a lot of movement going on, a lot of different ways to pose him. It is a newer figure. It's difficult to get some of these things to move the way that you want them. Plus, I'm not aware of how they move, so you got to be careful with that. You don't want to break anything. I just took it out of the box. That would not be very nice to do. Still, overall, I love the design. It's great. The suit is cool. And so, why don't we take a look at changing out those hands? So let's see. This is going to be complicated. There's the fist up there like that. Fist bump. Let's see, to pull right out. Yeah, see, again, you got to be very careful with these. I don't want to... Is there a special way to do it? You twist them out. Oh, it'd be kind of weird if he could actually turn his fist all the way around like that, I'm thinking. But, here, why don't I take a second to get these hands changed out, and we'll see what's going on with those. Well, there we go. We got his hands on there. It looks like they can go a little bit further, but it is kind of tight. And also, I got the joints loosened up a little bit more with his arms and stuff, so they do move a little bit better. So that's nice. It just takes a little bit to get them worked in. And so we put his arms up in the air like this. You can kind of get an idea of what he would look like when he's flying. Different ways to pose him like that as well. So either way, that's what he looks like with his open hands. So I'm going to go ahead and put his other hands back on him. So here he was, the Man of Steel Superman, NECA quarter scale from Real Toys. So he had some exchangeable hands, and he's got a nice flowing red cape going on there. And of course the Metropolis backdrop. Definitely impressed with this figure. So stay tuned for Batman Arkham Knight.